We are on the internet. My favorite part, Cliff, of being on the internet is we have got like millions of potential viewers. We'll get a tiny fraction of that. But the potential is what really makes it.
Okay, we're on.
We're on. Have you done a lot of live streams?
Yes. A lot.
Like more than you ever thought you would want to?
I've done like 7 or 8 just for myself, but then I've done a bunch for clubs. And I did one with Ellis Paul the other night. So, and I've done it for various organizations. So yeah, I've done a lot.
Well, I have to tell you that when I messaged you to do this one, I was like, I didn't know if you would say yes, and I am just so thrilled that you're doing this with me tonight. I'm like a little bit Twitter-pated.
Well, if I didn't know who you were, I might not, but I've been pretty much, anybody asks me to do something, I have so much free time that I do it.
Yeah, well, you know, I kind of had this view of this year. I decided it's more about audience building and making connections with people than making money, and what better way to do it than this?
Why would you ever want to make money in music?
Yeah, no, that's not a goal. Brian McCloskey is here, and he's really excited to hear the chatting. Ken Stahl, hi Chris. So I'm going to tell you all that I said Twitter-pated a moment ago. If you're not a Bambi aficionado, it just means that I'm really like excited and flustered because Cliff Eberhardt is one of the reasons that I write music. When I was first starting out, I used to play at this little cafe, and there were all these amazing singer-songwriters, and I remember seeing Cliff and singing, that's what I want to do. So, thank you.
That same thing happened with me at a little club in my hometown when I was 14 or 15, and I saw James Taylor play. And there were only 4 of us in the audience.
And so, did you develop a friendship?
I met him. I'm actually good friends with his sister. We never developed a big friendship, you know.
And his daughter plays the bass, is that correct?
No, his daughter plays guitar.
Because I think
Sally.
I opened for, yeah, I think I opened
I know
for
Sally.
once.
I've done a bunch of shows with her.
So it all comes full circle.
Yeah, and Livingston I know real well too, so.
You know, I met him at the Americana Hall of Fame opening. Have you seen that?
No.
And I just want to let everybody know, and we know that there's an echo. It's just, I'm trying, it's making me speak slower than I ordinarily would, which maybe is good.
Where is the Americana Hall of Fame?
So that's a great question. It is in Boston, I believe. And Betsy Siggins, do you know Betsy?
Oh, very, very well.
So she was really kind of at the helm of that, and she brought me to the opening where I got to meet Livingston and sing. It was super cool. Super cool. Talk about being Twitter-pated.
Twitter-pated.
You know, I latch onto these words. You know, I get a new one every day. I guess that's today's word. You know
it's
it
from Bambi?
Yeah.
Bambi terrorized me when I was a child.
Me too. Because of the death?
Yeah, when her mom died, evidently, I don't remember, I was really young, and I turned to my mom, and I said, where's Bambi's mother? Because she wasn't in the next scene, and she said, she died in the fire. And I started screaming, what? At the top of my lungs, and I had to be removed.
So, similar thing for me, Dumbo and Bambi. My parents were older when they had me, and so I always had this fear that something could happen to them. And then those movies, like, traumatized me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
Pretty traumatic.
Yeah, Disney is, like, really latched on to this parental separation thing. I don't like it.
Yeah. There's a lot of death in those movies. They're kind of like Grimm's fairy tales where, you know, it's probably why we play music.
Yeah, maybe so.
We're just trying to work it out.
I think so. I need catharsis for all of the trauma.
Bambi's mother's death is still weighing on me, so.
No. Nemo, you think they could have figured it out by 2003, but they had to do it in Nemo too. I just can't. I can't. Anyway, Carol says that the Americana Hall of Fame is in the Wing Theater.
Oh, okay.
In Boston. And Peter Nelson says he's going to hug you in 15 days.
He is. He's my neighbor, an one of my oldest friends.
What a wonderful thing to look forward to.
Yeah, well, I've already had my first shot due to my dotage.
That's great.
And so I get my next one a week from today.
Is the feeling of relief palpable?
It's very emotional.
Yeah.
I don't know what... It's like coming out of a post-apocalyptic situation where when we re-enter, I don't know what to expect, you know?
It's true. And, we can talk more about this as we go on, but even, with what we do, it's so hard. Like, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel. Do we start booking shows? It's just... Are you struggling with all that?
I don't think this is a time in history that we're going to feel sure about anything.
Yeah.
I mean, I was sure I was going to play. It was a year ago tonight was my last show.
Wow.
I was with John Gorka, Patty Larkin, Cheryl Wheeler, and Christine Lavin doing a tour. So we're doing big theaters. And we played in Pennsylvania, Sellersville, Pennsylvania. And it started getting weird that week. And by Thursday, New Bedford had canceled. And then Friday, everything shut down.
Yeah.
But we had no idea when we played that last show that we weren't going to see each other for a year. Therefore, I'm not counting on anything being sure thing,
I know. I had a weird moment today where I was looking back with nostalgia at a year ago, and the transition we made in our lives and the little things that we did to get us through, and I kind of missed those. Like we had this routine we developed of walking and watching a movie at night, and it's just, I didn't think I would be nostalgic for that time. What a time to be alive. I think I need to hear a song.
Okay. I left my passport back in customs. I left my hat upon the rack. I left my phone in my hotel room, and it's never coming back. Now all my things belong to others. There's no such phrase as lost and find. I'm getting sentimental for all the things I left behind. She was beautiful as morning. She was sharper than a knife. She vowed she would be faithful, that we were never man and wife. She always stood beside me. She never was unkind. Now someone else is making love to all the things I left behind. Made a list of missing things. I told up the coast. Lately it occurs to me, maybe I'm the thing that's lost. I left my past in my subconscious. When we forget, we soon regret. I left my heart in San Francisco, just like all the rest. Now did you look before you left? I wish there was a sign. Now I'm making my apologies to all the things I left behind. We all want a second look for all the things we left behind.
You're kind of a badass. That was awesome.
Thanks.
So, question for you. I ask a lot of the guests on here this question. When you're in an in-the-round setting, Do you tend to choose your next song based on what the previous artist did? Or do you just blaze your own trail?
I usually am responding to what the other artist did.
It's funny, I ask because for the most part, that's what I do until the one time I was in the round with Jonathan Bird.
Mm-hmm.
And he read erotic poetry right before me, which was doubly difficult, mostly because people were watching me listen to the poetry and I couldn't stop thinking about what my face was doing. But then, I don't know how to respond to that. But I do kind of have a song for this one.
Pardon me?
I do kind of have a response for your song.
Okay, good.
What were you going to say?
I tend to really listen to the other people in the round, though. Sometimes when I'm doing a round and I look around and I see people are fiddling or looking through their lyrics and stuff, it makes me nuts.
Yeah.
So I really respect the other artists and really pay attention to what they're doing. So sometimes I forget what I'm going to do next.
Well, I appreciate that, though, because isn't it so distracting if you're the one singing and you notice the other artist doing that? It pulls you
Yeah.
out. So I was just thinking about things we've left behind, and this is a song that I wrote. This was not what I was going to play next, but this is a song I wrote about divorce. And I'm
About
just
what?
going to leave divorce.
Okay.
I haven't had one,
Me
but I
neither.
know people who have.
Yeah.
And so this is not personal experience. Let's see here. I always remember to put my guests' links up, and then I failed to remember mine. So I'm going to just throw this one up here and say to everybody, I'm sure you all know who Cliff Everhart is. But one of the reasons I do this is because I'm trying to help all of us build our audiences on Facebook and other platforms. So if you can tip us tonight, that's really wonderful, and we appreciate it. And if you can't, just liking our pages and following us on the various platforms makes a huge world of difference. All right, this is called Woman Like That. She never could put anyone but her first. She took your last dime, she took your old shirt. Standing there with nothing left but your pride. She did you dirty, but you didn't run and hide. You only ever hear how beautiful it is, starting your life and raising your kids. Nothing ever said about how broken you feel when you learn it's not real. Mama said don't ever live with regret. What'd you ever see in a woman like that? She never could see past the end of her own nose on someone better and said that's the way that life goes. One foot out the door, she's got 1 foot on a cliff. She did you dirty, but now she's gotta live with it. You only ever hear how beautiful it is, starting your life and raising your kids. Nothing ever said about how broken you feel when you learn it's not real. Mama said don't ever live with regret. What'd you ever see in a woman like that? Oh, the life with love's better, what do they know? Expect a ragged old sweater to keep out the cold. If life with love's better, what do they know? What if you knew better? Would you let her go? She never could put anyone but her first. Sometimes you miss her, and that's what hurts the worst. Oh, you only ever hear how beautiful it is, starting your life and raising your kids. Nothing ever said about how broken you feel when you learn it's not real. Mama said don't ever live with regret. Mama said don't ever live with regret. And what'd you ever see in a woman like that?
You're a badass.
Thank you. That's very kind.
That's badass. What kind of guitar are you playing?
It is a Taylor. This is a 414. Are you a Taylor person?
No.
What do you play?
I have a lot of guitars. This is a Martin single O 18.
So when I was guitar shopping, I found, this is going to sound so weird. I know it's going to sound weird. The Martin guitar and the Taylor guitar had very distinctly different aromas. Both pleasant in their own way. But I think that's one of the reasons I gravitated toward the Taylor at first, because it has like
Was the bouquet?
Yes, it was the bouquet. Yeah, but I have the world's tiniest hands for an adult, and the Taylor just has a slimmer neck. And I felt like the Martins had such a warm sound, but I couldn't reach my hand around.
I think whatever you choose is the guitar for you. You know that I'm not a guitar bigot.
No guitar snobbery here. I'm also
No, I
that
like every
generation where, like, I grew up on Lilith Fair, where all of the women on those stages were playing Taylors, and so,
Right.
there was that thing in my head. We've got so many wonderful people hanging out with us tonight. Cindy Gamble says you are a badass. Wendy
would.
agrees. And Sandy was late, but she probably agrees too. And Brenda
I've never
says
thought
very
of
nice.
myself as bad anything.
Honestly, being badass has been a life goal of mine.
I can't hear you.
Being badass has been a life goal of mine.
Oh.
Even if it's only one person who thinks so, because for the most part, everyone says that I'm sweet or nice. And after a while, you just want to have a little edge.
Well, I definitely have a little edge.
What are you going to play for us next?
I'm going to play it in response to your song.
Ooh.
This is a song I wrote for my niece when she was very young. She was 16, I think, and she called me up because she had her heart broken for the first time. And let me put this on so I can hear myself. And she was asking advice. And I said, honey, have you heard my albums? I'm probably the last person you should ever ask advice on love on. And she said, well, Uncle Cliff, you're road tested. And I said, did you just call me a slut? So I wrote this song for her. Neither teachers nor scholars nor books will do. There is no instruction to see you through. 'Cause you can't believe this has happened to you. What to do? What to do? The very first time that you lose a lover, you wonder how you could ever recover. No one ever went to school for love. 'Cause you thought this would last forever, but forever changes like weather. No one ever went to school for love. All the times that you shared and the way that you cared the way you feel. Was this love? Was this real? This time you are on your own. Someone should have told you from the very start, love would lead you to this broken heart. No one ever went to school for love. All the words from the wise and the friendly advice, all the lessons learned and the bridges burned. Still we stand in line and wait our turn till love lets us believe again. Just when you thought you could never forget, one day love appears on your doorstep. No one ever went to school for love. No one ever went to school for love.
That song gets my favorite compliment.
What's that?
When you don't clap for a song, you just go, mm.
Thank you.
That was absolutely beautiful. Maria said it's one of her favorites. And there's also a request. Sandy is wondering if you would play Voyeur.
What a surprise. She's asked for that every show I've done. Sure.
No, I'm going to ask for it too.
Okay.
So we need to remember to keep track. Do you have these songs on Spotify?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Awesome. So
There's
just
also
everybody...
a Cliff Eberhardt station on Pandora.
Awesome. So
I don't stream personally. I've never streamed.
Do you listen to CDs?
Yeah.
It's funny. I'm just, because of the pandemic, I'm not driving anywhere, which was primarily where I listened to my CDs. But I've started streaming this year, and so with this virtual world tour, I have a playlist on Spotify. So if everyone follows that, I'm going to add Cliff's songs to it tomorrow. So I have to remember that one was absolutely stunning. Holy smokes!
Well, it's funny because it's also ties in with when there were record companies and CDs out, and there's been a lot of artists that have recorded my songs. I actually made a nice living on that, and now I make nothing from that. I had 60,000 plays on one song in a quarter, and I got $4.35.
Yeah.
Well, that would have been thousands in radio play, you know.
Right.
So it's funny. People are like, well, should I feel guilty? No, go do what you feel good about. But for me, it's like I just can't go there right now.
I know. It's just. I mean, we're trying to figure out a whole new world of like what the music business even is.
Oh yeah.
A friend of mine is in marketing, and a year ago she said, "Oh, I'll help you, Grace." She said, "Let me help you promote you. How do you make money?" I don't know. That's your job to find out. But yeah, it's just such a weird time. But my hope is that with all of us promoting each other on the Spotify playlist and blah blah blah, maybe we'll figure it out.
Well, maybe people will come out to see you.
Yes, actually, someone from New Bedford nearby me said she was hoping to hear us soon. Carol, I think it was Carol. This is me stalling because I don't know how to follow that song, Cliff. It was so stunning.
Oh yeah, you do.
I needed some dead space after that. So,
You calling me dead space?
no. Oh man! So I'm gonna sing a love song. I am not mushy, and I struggle in my everyday life to emote with people. You know, I can do it through song, but I just realized one day, hey, I don't say I love you very often to my people, and I should say that. So this is a song I wrote for my husband called Things You Already Know. things you already know by now. I'm weak when you come round. Without saying a word, you calm me down. Secret looks, secret smiles and scars from battles we have won. We're standing up, but we've come undone. I don't say it enough, you don't make me so. I don't say things you already know. Things you've already seen by now would break a lesser man. Without saying a word, you've held my hand. Grieving ghosts that are gone and left you carrying their burden. You're standing up, but still you're hurting. I don't say it enough, you don't make me so. I don't say things you already know. Ooh, I hope you never doubt that I'm here for the long haul. Sometimes you've gotta say it. I don't say it enough, you don't make me so. I don't say, but I hope you can feel it. Oh, I should say things you already know.
Nice.
Thank you. You got more requests, man.
You can tell me things I don't already know.
I'm just stuck on you're a badass and I don't know how to follow your songs. They're too good.
You know, I mean, I walk around thinking I don't know nothing most of the time, you know.
Me too. I've got 3 teenage stepdaughters and a son, and I'm like, well, I don't know anything. What do I
Wow.
have to offer these kids?
Wow, that's a house full.
Yeah, especially when you go from living by yourself to that. It's a jump.
It
Naive
is.
little me. Everyone was like, "Oh, good luck. Good luck when you get married." Like what? What could possibly go wrong?
Does that make traveling hard?
No. Well, my son is 2, so a year ago we went on tour. We drove from here to Texas and back with the 1-year-old, and we've been planted ever since. So I guess I don't really know. Maybe we'll
'Cause
find out
I mean, I'm out there most of the time.
on the road.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think it will get harder. When he was 1, he was a little more portable. Now he's got opinions. You know, I can see where it would get more difficult. Have a
I know
little
people
heart.
who do it, you know, but it's hard.
Traveling with children.
Yeah.
It's super hard, and you know, my husband well, the one time we went on tour with the baby, he handled the baby, but it was really hard and exhausting, and I am like floored by single parents. I don't know how they do it.
I've never been a
you,
parent,
Maria.
so.
It's all the things you think it's going to be, and more
Well, I
of
have
them.
tons of nieces and nephews and grandnieces and grandnephew, and I get a lot of joy from them, but I always wanted to do this, and selfishly I chose this way. I regret it at times, but I've had a great life, so there's really no looking back.
No, it's something I think about all the time, right? Because, you know, in a perfect world, you'd be able to put 100% into the music, right? You do that, and I'm always having a balancing act in my mind, and that's one of the things I've struggled with this year is like wanting to be productive, but reminding myself, you know what, it's okay to not be and just enjoy my son and balance.
I go through years where I don't write at all.
Really?
I went through a 6-year period recently where I didn't write one song.
Was it a choice, or did you just not feel it, or?
I had done a music for a play, and they hired me to do a whole. You write for like a year and a half, and you have to be very prolific. You know, I wrote over 40 songs, and most were rejected. And then you rehearse those songs, and then you perform them for 200 performances, and it kind of burns you out. Your mind has been so. I mean, I take it seriously. I get up and write for 8 hours every day because I'm being paid to do that. And then I got another play last year, or 2 years ago. Last year didn't count. And I wrote for that too, but then I just got good to me and I started writing again. But it's like when I was young and I had a publishing deal and a record deal. And people were calling me and saying, "When's your next record? Cliff, you got to go back in the studio." And your publisher would be saying, "We need a song for Rod Stewart, or for this movie or for that movie." So I was very motivated to write, because there was a brass ring, there was reward, and to readjust that, I go back to just writing for myself has been tough. But now I really enjoy it.
I had struggled with that just the beginning, not a 6-year period, and I certainly didn't have that kind of reward at the end for my writing. But the thing that's helped me this year is a songwriting group.
Mm-hmm.
I had never done that before, but just having a thing to be writing for, because otherwise it's hard to make yourself sit there, and write something just for yourself, especially if you don't feel it.
I moved to New York when I was 24. I'd seen an article in the New York Times about a songwriting group in New York that met every week. And I was living in Denver at the time. And I moved to New York just to join that group. And it turned out to be, Lucy Kaplansky, David Massagill, Suzanne Vega, Jack Hardy, Rod McDonald, Maggie, Terry Roach, all kinds of people. They were all great writers, So that helped me a great deal.
I had a moment, I forget if it was NERFA a couple years ago. There was a keynote speaker, anyway, somewhere, who said, that as an artist, you got to wait for the creative window to open and then write when your creative window opens. And then I did a co-write with Laura McKenna, and she kind of said, well, that's baloney, you just write because you write. Where do you fall on that? Do you when you're writing, do you treat it more of like a business, like I'm going to write, or is it more like a ethereal thing for you?
It depends what I'm writing for. If I'm just writing at home and I have a record project going or something like that, I'll write completely different than if somebody calls me and says, we need a song for a movie or we need a song for a play. Those are two different ways of writing, I think inspiration it's like a dream catcher. I don't really know when it's coming, and I'm so grateful when it arrives. And as my friend Cheryl Wheeler said, there's no time in my life I feel better than when I'm writing a song.
Yeah.
You don't know. Sometimes I try to write and it comes out crap, and I know it, and I hate myself. And I always think you're wasting your time because a good song might be flying into your subconscious right now without wasting your time on this stuff.
Do you force yourself to finish it?
I call it a download. I write them pretty fast, and I don't always know what they're about till I'm done. But I don't look at them as sacred things. I don't protect them like when I was doing those plays. The director would say, "I don't think this song is right for this scene." I just didn't do the song. I threw the song away. There are always more songs.
It can be hard to feel like that, though, when you're trying to write one. And especially if it's one that's like, you're writing it and you know it's terrible. And you're just like, just finish this song anyway. Do you make yourself finish it anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Sometimes, I go back years later and fix them. sometimes I go, oh, there's an obvious fix to this, and I didn't see it at the time.
And then, see, that's something I have always thought that I might do, but I don't know that I've ever revisited something. Maybe it's just me being lazy. Or maybe they were really
Everybody
terrible.
writes in a different way, you know? I mean, I teach songwriting a lot. I'm doing a lot of it online, but usually at these camps. And that seems to be the universal question by most students is, you know, how do you go about writing a song? And it's not explainable.
Yeah.
Everybody does it different, and I tend to write kind of out of focus, and I'm not trying to make the words go together, they just do.
Mm.
You know, it's like, as I said in an interview last year, the guy who writes my songs is a lot smarter than me.
I've certainly had those songs, you know, the ones that just seem like they write themselves and they appear on the paper before you and you feel like you had very little hand in it. You know, those magical ones. And then I find the ones I labor over, I don't know, they tend not to be the great ones.
Right.
But yeah,
well,
it's
I have a great
unexplainable.
quote about that from, I got to hang out with Bob Dylan a little bit in the late 80s.
Oh, no big deal.
And he had heard a song of mine on K-Rock in New York, Vince Gels's show. I was on there late at night and I played. And he got a hold of me, and he wanted to know about the last verse of that song, which is pretty weird to have Bob Dylan asking you about a verse of your song, you know. And he said, did you write that last verse to complete the song, or did it just come to you? And I said, yeah, I can't take credit. It just came to me. And he said, ain't that a bitch? We don't write our own songs.
I like that.
I do too.
That's pretty fabulous. I like how you also just casually hung out with Bob Dylan.
People are people.
I know. That's so funny.
I mean, people are people. He's a really good songwriter, but I don't have that starstruck thing. You know, I know a lot of people that other people are pretty impressed by, and they're just guys or girls, or they're just people.
Mm. I had the
that happen to have a
opportunity
talent.
when I was a kid. I was like 17, and I went on this tour with the guitarists from Badfinger and Greg Douglas, who wrote Jungle Love for Steve Miller Band, and all these guys that are hugely famous. I didn't know who any of them were, and I feel really lucky that I didn't. I was just like, oh, that's just some guys, because I was just able to become friends with them, you know, and be cool. And once I realized who Eddie Money was, I was like, oh. I'm glad I found out after.
Mm-hmm.
Takes the pressure off. So
I don't ever feel pressure being around successful people.
You're just cool and badass.
No, it's just I see a lot of my friends made it very big, and I saw what it did to them. You know, fame is not always kind.
Mm.
You know, something gets taken for that price.
Kind of like Meghan Markle and Prince Harry. Did you get to watch that Oprah interview?
I would not watch that. No. I have bigger concerns.
Not me.
I don't care about them. And I'm concerned about vaccines and stimulus packages and white supremacy and things like that.
Yes,
You
yes,
know.
the things that matter.
It's like, no, I don't, no.
I was picturing you curled up on the couch with your Afghan watching it, just like I was.
No, I was watching the Greenwich Village Folk Festival.
Last night?
Yeah,
Was it live?
yeah.
How did I
It's
not
every
know
month
that?
they have one.
That's so cool. Everyone needs to go watch that.
Yeah, it was really good.
All right, so I've talked too much, and I want to hear another song. And you've had two requests. You had Voyeur and Have a Little Heart.
Okay, I'll do Have a Little Heart. I think I'm mute. No, no. Please don't let me do too much for you. I'm the type of fool who'll offer to. I would never show you how I dream when I carry out your bags for you. When you say it's time to leave, could not bear to see you walking in on the arm of someone I wish I could be. And it seems that someday somehow that someone won't be me. And you say you think that we should be as friends. Good thing is that friendships never end, and to do the things that friends should like to do. But the way that friendship feels to me is not the way I feel for you. So have a little heart, have a little heart. When you say the world is so unkind, when you love that love's been blind, and there's no one in the world for you, just remember who you're talking to. Have a little heart, a little heart. When you talk to me, think before you start. Have a little heart, baby. Have a little heart, a little heart. When you talk to me, think before you start. Have a little heart. Have a little heart.
I wish people could see me just like fangirling over here while you're singing.
I wish I could too.
But thank you, Kevin. Kevin's having a good time, and Brenda. And Maria said she has a wish for you, but she doesn't remember the title. The lyrics look like "Life is hard, love is harder."
Yeah, I have not done that song. That was on my third album, and I just haven't done them. I mean, I could do it next show, but you could pay me $10,000, I wouldn't be able to remember that song.
And we had somebody else seconding your anti-royal sentiment. Charlie Hunter, no royals.
Okay, Charlie.
I will refrain from talking about Harry and Meghan as much as I want to. I'm sorry. So,
Well, you know, I think we're living in a time when privilege is very apparent. And this pandemic has really emphasized that to me. And we're all in this together. And I just, sometimes when people are so privileged and they find reason to complain, it makes me crazy. Crazier than I already am.
I had a jealousy moment today because apparently Bruno Mars is like lobbying the Grammys to let him perform because he's an out-of-work musician. And it just gave me a lot of feelings about being an out-of-work musician.
You know, actually, I have worked this whole pandemic.
Live streaming?
Live streaming, and I've gotten hired to do song demos where people hire me to sing their songs, and hired to sing a part in a musical that's being pitched to Broadway. I've given lessons every week. I've been hired somebody to put music to their poetry. So I'm actually very busy.
That's wonderful.
I know. I'm doing better than when I wasn't before the pandemic.
Well, isn't it kind of like we've just been forced to be creative and find different ways to make it work?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I guess that's what creative people do, is we find a way to make it work.
You know, like when I started seeing record stores closing up, I really started to diversify a lot more. I started teaching a lot more and doing more commercial work because I knew that just making records and touring was going to be different.
Yeah.
I mean, luckily for me, my first record was a big record, and I was on radio a lot, and I was on TV a lot, and I was able to establish a career that has lasted me 30 years now. I feel sorry for people who are trying, like you, trying to do it now, and there's so little radio, and there's no TV, there's no record companies. You know, I had a manager and an agent and a publicist and a publisher, and it was just a different time. And so I was talking to John Gork about this yesterday, that our first albums really establish us. And like, if you look at all the requests tonight, all but 2 of the songs are from my first record. People still want to hear that first record. So it's a different time. I don't know how you manage or navigate these waters.
I don't think any of us do, except Taylor Swift. Peter Nelson is right.
Yeah, well, she had help. But that's another thing, is you do have to find an advocate. You have to find people who believe in you and encourage you to do the right things and encourage you to do... The most important thing is to do it well. I think that writing a good song is the key to everything. If you don't have good songs, you can have a great personality and you can have funny songs or songs that are okay, but they need to be better. I'm just talking in general, everybody, I'm not pointing a finger either. But they need to really open the doors for people to touch their hearts. And that's how people will request people to work for them or to play for them. It's the songs.
Yeah. It's true. And what we learned from Bob Dylan is it's the song more than it is the voice. I guess we kind of learned that from Taylor Swift, too.
I actually think Bob Dylan's a great singer. I do. I love his voice.
Do you know what's interesting? So I taught voice for many years, and I just haven't since I had my son. But it's such a subjective thing, and I guess like body image, we've been sold this bill of goods that this is what good is. But really, it's all just colors on a palette, is how I view it. And I think there's beauty in every voice. I think, this is my PSA, I think everybody should sing. That's just my soapbox. I see beauty in Bob Dylan singing, and
well, I was
just
born
different
with
colors.
I was born with the voice that I have, and so I wasn't permitted to sing in choirs or, people told me I had a terrible voice.
Told you
And
that?
What?
Told you that?
Oh, constantly. And I remember when I did some jingles in the 80s. I did TV commercials. You've heard me a million times.
I have.
You remember the heartbeat of America? It's today's Chevrolet.
What year are we talking?
86.
I was one.
And I also did one that still played on Just for the Taste of It, Diet Coke.
You did Diet Coke?
Yeah. I did like over 100.
Do you have
when
a
I got
reel?
my first one was for Quaker Oats, and I called my mom and I said, I just got this TV commercial. It's going to pay me all this money. And she said, did you write it? And I said, no. And she said, are you playing guitar on it? I said, no. She said, what are you doing? I said, I'm singing it. She said, who the hell would pay you to sing?
Diet Coke. Man, I am going on a deep dive for Cliff Eberhardt after this live stream. I'm looking up those commercials.
There's a bunch. I did Miller beer and Molson beer and Ford trucks and Chevy trucks and...
What's your favorite?
The one that paid the most.
Diet Coke?
No, it was Heartbeat of America.
I'm wondering, do the fans know about all of this?
I used to do a bit where I sang a couple of the commercials because my fans are my age and they were, I was 30 then, so...
I'll be assembling a reel.
You can't find... There's only one that I could find on YouTube.
Really?
Yeah.
Which one was it?
It's the Heartbeat of America.
Which is your favorite? What product is that?
Chevrolet Camaro.
Chevrolet, okay. Well, I think that's pretty badass, and I might be using it in my promotion of the playlist.
Well, it taught me doing all those jingles because you go audition for them. And so I was going almost every day. And it really taught me a lot about the studio and how studios work and how harmony works and how to breathe and really sing the way that the people wanted you to sing. So I learned more about that from doing those jingles than anything.
I did one jingle for a local furniture company. And it was pretty fun. I enjoyed doing it. I think I could get behind doing a Diet Coke commercial. That's going to be my new trajectory.
Well, it's different now. It used to be unionized, and you'd get paid residual every time it was played, and it was a big residual. But then they overturned that, and now they just give you a lump sum to do them, and it's not that big.
Mm. Well, it's a similar thing with radio, right? Because there used to be royalties for radio, and now it's
There
just
still is.
for certain radio, though, right?
Right.
It's very
I still get a check every quarter.
not the $4 one.
No.
I get my royalty check slip, and it's like $4.
No, I mean, there's a lot of people that have recorded songs, so I mean, it's not huge, but they're nice checks.
I've got to say, for me, the royalty checks, despite the obvious disparity in amount, is the most satisfying dollars that I get. I love me a royalty check. I don't care.
I got a publishing royalty check 2 days ago, and I came out of the post office and they said, "You're a songwriter." You know, because you do get those checks that prove it.
Yeah.
Because it's hard when you're alone, and especially when you're not touring. You can feel very disjointed from this business.
Yes, you can.
Yeah, and you feel like, what am I doing, and does anybody even care if I'm doing it? You know.
Yeah.
Like making this album was really hard on me psychically, you know?
The one that you just finished?
Yeah.
Did we talk about that during this broadcast, or were we talking about that before?
I think
Do people
before.
know?
Well, I'll let them know. It's coming out in April, I guess.
Whoa! Are you going to do any songs from that tonight?
I don't know.
All right.
I did. The first song I did was from that.
Oh, awesome, because somebody else requested a new song from you. They just said play a
Okay.
new one. So I feel like, is it my turn?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. So we were talking earlier about the royals, and then you said you care more about important things, and then I was thinking about that a little bit. So this is my response to that, because I forget what year it was when Trayvon Martin was murdered, but I remember reading about it, and that was a moment when I realized my privilege, that I can walk down the street with a hood on, and it's not going to give people concern.
Exactly.
And I cannot fathom a world in which I would have to think twice about that. And so that's where this song came from. This is called America. And this time I'm going to remember to put this up. You know, we were talking about royalty checks being like the most satisfying dollars or pennies that you ever get. But getting new likes on your Facebook page also feels really, really good. All right, this is called America. It's much harder where I shiver, drinking water from the river. It's a gold rush. It's the harsh touch of America. I see her standing, oh so boldly. Take more time out, is what she told me. My back is breaking, well she is raking in America. But how can I live it up when I can't even fill my cup? Praying's all I can do. 'Cause they don't see these sturdy feet walking miles just to meet the end. Is it coming soon? Take your hand out of your pocket and take your hood off while you're walking. can't even fill my cup. Praying's all I can do. 'Cause they don't see these sturdy feet walking miles just to meet the end. Is it coming soon? 'Cause it's much harder where I shiver, drinking water from the river. It's a gold rush. It's the harsh touch of America. Thank you, Seth. Rose asks, how about Land of the Free?
Okay. I like that one. It kind of fits in with your song.
Perfect. That's awesome. And I'm just going to throw this up one more time and mention to you guys, I know it's tough for a lot of people, but if you can contribute to the tip jar, it makes a big difference.
You know what I want to say? One thing is, on the 25th of March, I'm going to be doing a concert, and it's going to be a gratitude concert where I thank everybody for supporting me this year, and I don't want any money. I just want people to come. So that will be the 25th of March.
Awesome.
And I'm really, really humbled by the amount of help I've gotten during this.
And that will be streaming just on your page?
My page and Twitch.
You're on Twitch?
I'm a Twitch guy.
You're a Twitch guy? We're on Twitch tonight. I don't know what it means, but we're on there.
Well, it'll archive it for 2 weeks.
Okay, so now that's a new thing I've learned about Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch is been good for me.
How long
Because
have
I'm
you
a
been on
Twitchy
there?
guy.
How long have you been on there?
My first show was on there, which was a year ago.
And do you find, has the audience built pretty easily?
Yeah, and plus because it's archived, people can watch it for a long time. So, I mean, the last one I did, I had like 900 people look at it.
So what confuses me about Twitch, and maybe other folks know about this, is when, like, there's weird icons that show up on the screen, and then people give you bits. Like, what's a bit? I don't know
Not in
any
my
of these
shows.
terms.
My shows is just like this.
Oh, okay, that's less stressful then. I thought I was going to have to learn a whole new vocabulary.
I don't want you to be stressed. You know, you're already stressed enough about Meghan and Harry. Let's get some of the stress out.
It's really a concern of mine. Oh my goodness gracious. Land of the Free, is that the one that you're playing?
It is.
All right.
The sun doesn't care on what side of the river it lays its head down for a rest. She is waiting for me in the land of the free. Well, it's ironic to me, I guess. And I look how the seabirds fly over the borderline. They never have to spend a dime to have a home. Now look at the shape I'm in. My emotions are paper thin. They're gonna send me back again. That's the way that it goes. Over the water, over the mountains, over and over. She waits for me. Only in heaven there are no borders. Only in heaven the same. Over the water, over the mountains, over and over, she waits for me. Only in heaven there are no borders. Only in heaven, the land of the free. Over the water, over the mountains, over and over, she waits for me.
Absolutely stunning. I was just trying not to cry.
It's good when songs make you cry.
I thought that I cried easily before I had a child, and I've entered a whole new terrain of, like, I used to be able to at least hold it in, but now I just weep. I need disclaimers.
I think crying's good. I like to cry.
Sometimes you gotta.
Yep.
So I was thinking about, while you're playing this, just the reference to heaven. I know that wasn't the huge point of the song, but I was thinking about my dad, because he was the one who used to bring me to all my gigs when I was a kid, and he's the one who brought me to see you at the Hardware Cafe in Marion, and I just think he would be over the moon to know that we were collaborating.
Is he no longer with us?
No, he passed away in 2016,
I'm very sorry.
and it's a thing I talk about all the time, but my dad, at the end, I was in Texas at Wildflower Festival, and they said, you need to come home, your dad's not doing well. And so I just kind of sat with him, and he was comatose, and it was one of those it'll be any day scenarios, and I just sat there weeping next to him, and I swear to God that all of a sudden one day he opened his eyes and looked at me and said, cut the shit. And that's the last thing my father ever said to me.
That's fantastic.
You know, what a gift.
We all dream of that.
What a gift. Because that's the best life advice. It's applicable to most scenarios,
Yes.
and it makes you chuckle when you think about it. And of course I wanted to write a song like in tribute to my dad, but I just didn't feel like I was the artist to sing a song called Cut the Shit. So I translated. My dad was a Marine and kind of gruff, and cut the shit was like a thing for him. That was definitely, I think if you know nothing else about him, that sums him up. Not flowery at all though, and so I gave him, I think he meant something flowery by that. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, it's a long, long way to Tipperary. I see setting suns and you see the dawn. Sometimes I look through your window till I see the lights start turning on. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, I've walked away from heavy doorways kept away from painful tears. I found my garden in your eyes, love. You were my hope and peace throughout the years. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones, your constellation hold me near. I only hope you know you are my dear. It's a long, long way to Tipperary. I see setting suns and you see the dawn. I found my garden in your eyes, love. Please know my heart ain't gone. May God bless you and send you an angel. I'll be looking down from my home. Remember, I always loved you. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones. When the world quits playing ball and starts throwing stones.
Nice.
Thank you. I think one of my favorite ways to end a song is with a big. I don't know why I just did it on that song, but have you ever been a fan of the windmill guitar style?
No. I'm not a big
Thanks, Cindy.
histrionics guy, you know. I don't like breaking the guitars. I don't like getting down on the knees. It's tough on your knees when you're my age.
No fog
Get rough to your
machines.
knees anymore. I did not mind the shenanigans that Chuck Berry did, though. I thought that was pretty cool.
So I'm not familiar with the Chuck Berry shenanigans.
Well, he would do the duck walk and the splits and the. He danced all over the stage.
See, I broke my leg walking, so I don't think that would be in it for me either. Actually, Cliff, that's when we were on stage together, was when I had a broken leg.
I don't recall you having a broken leg.
I was pregnant with a broken leg that I
Remember you
acquired
were
by
pregnant and you had a
taking
little
a
band
step.
with you. Yeah.
Yeah, just really clumsy.
We were at opposite ends of that stage, too.
We were.
Yeah.
And Amy Speece was on stage, too.
Right.
I,
And Peter
Wait.
Mulvey.
yes.
And I think
Oh,
Ronnie Cox.
New Bedford. I was just going to say, was Ronnie Cox in that one?
Yeah, I think Ronnie was sitting next to you.
Yes. Yes, I've been trying like heck to get him to come do this with me.
Well, I don't see why he wouldn't.
I'm just going to have to try again.
Tell him I tell him that he should and that it's fun.
Okay, I will. If I can quote you, I will.
Oh yeah, I'm good friends with Ronnie.
So my husband and I don't know if you're into podcasts, but my husband and I listen to a podcast called How Did This Get Made? It's just about terrible movies, and they dissect them and say, how did this get made? And one of them was a Ronnie Cox movie about
Which
a
was?
shark.
What?
It's about a shark,
I don't know that one.
and he's very briefly in it, like sitting at a desk. And so on this podcast, they were like really wanting to know how they got a great actor like Ronnie Cox into this terrible movie. And so I've been trying to hook him up with the podcast.
He's a great. I mean, that's where I stay when I go to L.A. I just stay
And-
with Ronnie.
He had a song that I loved about. I feel like there was a line in it, cornbread.
Oh yeah. because it's hot. It's his cooking song.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. So good. Louise Baker said Ronnie isn't doing any online shows right now.
Oh.
Hi, Louise. And Sandy reminds us about Voyeur.
I have to do this one first. I'll do Voyeur as my last one, okay?
Okay, that sounds good.
I thought this was appropriate because of your song. I wrote this after my dad died, and it was recorded by the lovely Kim Moberg. And I think she's listening, so this goes out to you, Kim. It was also recorded last year by David Broza and Maura O'Connell, and Richie Havens recorded it. So, as we say, it has legs. There are the ones that you call friends. There are the ones that you call late at night. There are the ones who sweep away your past with one wave of the hand. There are the ones that you call family. There are the ones that you hold close to your heart. There are the ones who see the danger in you. They won't understand. I can hear your voice in the wind. Are you calling to me down the long road? Do you really think there's an end? I have followed my dreams down the long road. You are the one that I met long ago. You are the one that saw my dream. You are the one who took me from my home and left me off somewhere. Somehow I feel you are here, and you are waiting in that dream. Somewhere down this road we will awake, and we'll be at the start again. I can hear a voice in the wind. Are you calling to me down the long road? Do you really think there's an end? I have lived my whole life down the long Are you waiting for me? Your voice in the wind. Your voice in the wind. Long road. Long road.
Cindy, Peter, and I are all not crying. That
I have a disclaimer. I usually write with fake nails, and I haven't been able to go to the nail salon for a year. So that's how I pick, is with fake acrylic nails.
So I have a question about that.
Yep.
When I was in college, the classical guitar teacher used to use ping pong balls. Have you ever
Yeah.
heard of that?
Yes.
And you'd like glue them on or something? Have you done that?
Yeah, I've done all kinds of things. For some reason, the stuff that they have in the salon, like when I do it, it falls off after a day.
Mm.
And I like the abuse that I get when I go into the salon. That's what I like most.
See, when I go to the salon, I'm just like, okay, can you just only massage my hands and not paint them? Let's just spend our time massaging.
I'm the only dude in there, so, and I only want my index and my ring finger. Like, just these two fingers have nails on them. And they can't figure that stuff out. They think I'm into some
Did they
pretty
give you a hard
weird
time
stuff.
about it?
What?
Did they like question
Sometimes
you
they won't
about
do
this?
it. Sometimes they refuse to do it. They're like, "You kinky man, out."
Have you seen? Oh my God! There's the funniest cartoon about the nail salon. Have you ever seen the nail salon video thing? I'm gonna have to send it to you later. Everybody
Okay,
needs
good.
to go Google. I think you would just put in like cartoon nail salon comedy. You will find it, and it's the funniest
Well,
thing.
I've seen other people that have done really funny stuff on it. It's like people who go to diners or people. It's just a weird atmosphere that's so foreign to us, and especially being a guy in a nail salon. And I go to them all over the country because they break, and a lot of times I go, "No, we don't do two nails,"
Just
So
because they
I'll
don't
pay
have
you
a
for
price?
10.
Like they have an
What?
aesthetic standard, or is it they don't know how to price it?
It's by the nail where I go.
I'm just thinking like they're like, we cannot accept this aesthetic. We need 5 nails.
Yeah. And when
Oh
I'm on
my
the road,
God.
sometimes I'm in a rush, and it's crazy.
I think. So the last time I got my nails done, I didn't want a color. I just wanted clear polish, and they argued with me about that. But maybe I should try the 2 nail thing and see if they do that.
Works for me.
Oh man, what a song, Cliff. Whew.
Yeah, I was lucky.
Was that one that just occurred?
Well, kind of. I mean, I was Richie Havens' guitar player back then, and I got signed to a record deal and had to leave the tour. And he said, "Well, write a song for us to sing as a duet." So I wrote it so that he could sing it with me, or would sing it with me. So it had those spaces for another voice in it, But yeah, the imagery was pretty much me half asleep in a hotel room in Madrid,
That I can hear your voice in the wind. Mm. My niece just informed me that I used the word aesthetic incorrectly. We'll have to dissect that later, my dear. Teenagers like to be correct.
I'll correct her. I'll make her beg to go to Sunday school. Me and Uncle
Man.
Cliff.
I think one of the proudest things in my whole life, we were talking earlier about being a badass, was when my stepdaughter told me that I am scary when I'm mad. Like, I didn't even know that I had that in me. She's the only teenager in the whole wide world that will listen to me and think I'm scary.
I think you're scary.
Thank you.
If you like.
My niece just corrected that she only commented on my use of aesthetic because I previously corrected her on it. So she's just giving me a taste of my own medicine.
There you go.
So I'm going to do one more song, and then I'm going to let you do the last one because I know you've had a lot of requests tonight.
Because Sandy will kill me if I don't do Voyeur.
Yeah, you've got to do that song. So I'm going to close out with a song that I wrote for my stepdaughters. Before my son was born, I was 8 months pregnant, and Betsy Siggins hooked me up with Lawyer McKenna to go write with her, and I had never even co-written anything before. So I showed up with this 8-month pregnant belly, and she said, okay, what do you want to write about? And I said, well, Lori, like anything except my belly, because that just feels too obvious to write about my baby. And she kind of giggled, and she's like, you know that's what we're going to write about, right? Like, it's the baby.
She's had the experience many times.
Yes. And the thing about, I guess, having a blended family like we do is for each girl, having me come into their lives was difficult in a different way. And then you add a baby into it, and again, difficult for each in a different way. So this is a song just trying to remind them that regardless of anything, he's just going to think they're the best thing since sliced bread. All right. This is called Just Lovin' You. He's not carrying a big bag. He won't have much to say. He might not just like you, but he's yours anyway. He might be carrying a Band-Aid, a cure, or a dream come true. But he's coming into this world just loving you. Won't have change in his pocket, no debts to pay. He won't change the station. He'll like any song you play. He won't be mad at your mother or your dad. He won't know how love can be cruel. Now he's coming into this world just loving you. Love ain't no simple thing. We all have to think twice. If hearts were protected, we wouldn't have to hide. Others have let you down. We all know it's true. But he's coming into this world just loving you. So put down your baggage and give yourself time. He's looking toward you with no fear in his eyes. He doesn't know why you cry or you're hurt, or why anyone would want solitude. Now he's coming into this world just loving you. Love ain't no simple thing. We all have to think twice. Hearts made of paper wear out in time. Cradles and blankets are all out in full view. loving you. Thank you.
You have nice chord progressions.
Thank you. I studied jazz in college, and I hated it. It was not my spirit animal.
Where was that?
UMass.
In Amherst?
Dartmouth.
Oh.
Close to New Bedford. But I struggled with jazz because in a song I like something I can really hang on to that's consistent every time. And I felt like in jazz I was always like, what can I hold on to? But the gift that it gave was chords.
Yeah.
So Cliff's going to do the last tune tonight. I just want to take a moment and thank everybody for tuning in. I've been doing this every Monday night since September 14th, and I'm going to keep doing it. And then check out on Spotify the Virtual World Tour Spotify playlist. You're going to hear Cliff's tunes on there, plus all the other artists that I've had on here.
Who do you have next week?
I've got Scott Martin on next week. Fabulous Texas songwriter, salt of the earth guy.
I don't know him.
Oh, he's a sweetheart. I met him at the Dripping Springs Songwriters Festival.
Wow.
Have you played that?
No, I've played Wildflower and Kerrville.
Wildflower's pretty awesome, and I've never been to Kerrville.
And I've done a show in Dripping Springs.
A house concert?
Yeah.
My son would like to say goodnight. Say hi, everybody.
Oh.
Say hi, Cliff. Can you say na-na-na-na Batman? Night-night.
Can you say na-na-na badass?
You probably could. You probably could. Oh, hold on. He's got a contribution.
What's that? That's all you got tonight?
Key of D.
That's sad.
Get him a lawyer.
But anyway, it's just been such an honor and a treat to have you on here with me. Thank you so much.
I've had a really good time. It's very pleasant talking
Oh,
with
I'm
you.
so glad. All right.
All right,
Boyer, is that the one?
Sandy, here's your song. So. She's just a girl in a window, across the alley, around the corner. I can see her reading. She's beautiful hands. She twists her hair around her fingers. Sometimes I think she's crying, but there is nothing wrong. I turn off the light. Sometimes I think I could wait forever. I'm no warrior. She's just a girl in a window, across the alley, round the corner. I can see her look over, and I won't ever touch her. She talks on the phone with somebody. I can see her laughing. There is something wrong. I go to bed. Sometimes I think I could dream forever. I'm no voyeur. She's just a girl in a window, across the alley, around the corner. She turns off her light. Sometimes I think I could dream forever. I'm no voyeur. She's just a girl in a window, across the alley, around the corner. She's just a girl in a window,
Bravo. What a wonderful way to end. Thank you so much. Have a good night,
you.
everybody.
Thanks, Grace.